Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, published a new book. In it, she describes him as a person without empathy and draws a shocking psychogram of the ex-US president. She is now accusing him quite a lot. Donald Trump's behavior has already been taken apart in numerous books in detail, but a new psychogram of the 44th US president is now tracing his true personality. Nobody less than Trump's niece Mary Trump published her second book in the USA on August 19th. No, it was my birthday, right? Describing her uncle as a mass murderer with no empathic abilities. Focus Online in Germany reported on this. The Reckoning, Our Nation's Trauma and Finding a Way to Heal. This is the title of Mary Trump's book. She doesn't leave her uncle any good in that one. In it, she describes him, as I said, as a mass murderer because he risked human lives in the corona pandemic. Trump was previously accused of deliberately putting human lives at risk in the corona crisis. She gives him complicity in over 600,000 COVID deaths in the United States because he would have rejected protection rules and also positioned himself against masks. That's why he's a de facto mass murderer, she said in an interview with USA Today. Earlier, Trump would have shown signs of a mental disorder beyond the symptoms of sociopaths. Donald Trump has already shown a lack of empathic behavior in numerous appearances. The 56-year-old says his thirst for revenge is to blame on the behavior of typical sociopaths. His not feeling traumatized by statements like, "You're dying, that's right, that's the way it is," which the 75-year-old ex-president made in a response to a question in the news magazine Axios in relation to the thousands of corona deaths in August 2020. "That's the way it is. These are the very words he said to me on the day of my father's funeral," remembers Mary Trump. His behavior goes back a long way in the Trump family history. With a succinct, "That's just the way it is," the Trumps have always simply dismissed other people's suffering, says his niece. In the title, she also deals with the national trauma of the USA. The trained psychologist diagnosed the nation with post-traumatic stress disorder, so PTSD. Americans suffer from the psychological stress because of the divided country, which manifests itself in a persistent faint. It doesn't announce itself, but almost sneaks up on it. Traumas don't always have to be loud and dramatic, such as a car accident or an explosion, she says. No less to blame for this trauma is her uncle, she says. During his time in the White House, and now he was a negative influence on citizens and the Republicans alike. He would have intensified the collective trauma during his tenure. To justify this, she explains how Trump came to power and gives an insight into the cause of the U.S. psychosomatic disorder, U.S. history. Above all, slavery is one of the symptoms that has still not been dealt with. That is an American original sin, she says. Mary Trump explains that 12 out of 18 US presidents would have been slave owners in the past. She herself advocates reparation payments to African Americans. Her uncle could have done it, but did nothing. Donald Trump only continued to fuel racism by, for example, separating families from migrants at the border. Our ugly history is full of barbaric behavior, she says. Ordinary people act inhumanely on a day-to-day basis, and the leaders at the top of the government approve or even encourage them. But the trauma can be overcome, says Mary Trump, hopefully. Mary Trump's book was also published in Germany yesterday by the Heine Verlag for €22. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not so sure yet, because I am quite done with Trump. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.